Good day, ladies and gentlemen. Today we're going to look at chapter 4, which talks about reference writing. We're going to look at these learning outcomes, difference between periodicals, books, journals in writing references, and then we look at how we quote information and then how to write references using electronic systems. Firstly, let us look what references are. These are sources of information or sources of support that are provided to back up a statement, claim, or argument that are typically used in writing and research to provide evidence for a particular point or to support a claim. There are several different types of references, including scholarly references, popular references, primary sources, secondary sources, and tertiary sources. So these are the types of references that you can rely on to support or provide a backup to your claim or your argument when you are writing. Then we have what you call referencing styles. What are referencing styles? Before we look at those styles, referencing styles are simply standardized methods of citing sources in academic writing. They ensure that writers give credit to the original authors of ideas, concepts, and data they use in their work. Referencing styles may vary in their formatting, but they all have the following functions. They all have function of credibility and function of clarity, whereby under credibility, referencing styles provide evidence of the research that has been conducted and demonstrates the writer's knowledge of the subject, whereas clarity, proper referencing makes it easier for readers to find and verify the source used, which contributes to clarity and transparency in academic writing. Then there are 6 popular referencing styles according to my slide here. For example, we have a Harvard referencing style, we have the IEEE referencing style, the API referencing style, the Chicago referencing style, MLA referencing style, and Vancouver referencing style. So these are the referencing styles, but in our case, we urge students to use APA styles, that is the choice by the institution, which is the American Psychological Association style. Is a predominantly used in the fields of psychology, health, and social sciences. The APA referencing style uses the author date system. The sources are cited by providing the surname of the author and the year of publication in brackets. So that is the APA which you are recommended to use in our case. Then sources of information. Source of information refers to various channels, mediums, locations from which information can be obtained or gathered. These sources can be classified into several categories. For example, we have a category of primary sources, which is first-hand information or original materials, such as interviews, surveys, historical documents, and eyewitness accounts. Secondary sources, information or analysis derived from primary sources, such as textbooks, articles, and documentaries. Whereas the last category is tertiary sources, information gathered from secondary sources such as encyclopedia, almanacs, and dictionaries. So still on the sources of information, we have the academic journals, which basically are peer-reviewed articles published in scholarly journals. Can provide valuable information and research findings related to your topic. Then we also have books online databases. Okay, so this is about the sources, meaning that the academic journals, the books, the online databases are basically categorized under the secondary sources. Okay, so let's move on to the other slide. Let us look at these examples as we have already highlighted in the previous slide. Academic journals, which is categorized under the secondary source. We have already talked about what journals are and what books are. Books are scholarly books, and monographs can provide in-depth coverage of a topic and serve a great source of information. So just like we discussed them on the previous slide there. And then let's look at this source of information in detail, how to write them and how to reference them. So periodicals and writing references. Periodicals are publications that are published on a regular basis, such as newspapers, magazines, or journals. They are often referred to as serial publications because they are published in a series or sequence over time. So periodicals can cover a wide range of topics and can be aimed at different audiences such as general readers, professionals, or academics. Some periodicals are published daily or weekly, while others are published less frequently, such as monthly or quarterly. So when writing references for periodicals, it is important to include the following information. Always include the title of the article, the author who wrote that article, the publication information such as date of publication as well as volume and issue number if it is available. Then page numbers, the page number of the article or column if applicable. So below there, as you can see, there is a sample of how you reference a periodical, such as this article below. Let's look at the books. Books and writing references. A book is a written or printed work of fiction or non-fiction that is published in a bound format. Typically consists of series of pages that are bound together in a cover or binding, and it may be printed on paper or electronic media. So that is what a book is. Hopefully everyone is familiar with this term. So when writing references for books, it is important to include the following, just like we did with the journals, the periodicals. The book has to have the author, the person who wrote the book, or the authors who wrote the book, the title of the book, edition, which edition, for example, can have a second edition, publisher, should have the publisher who published it, and then the publication date. So below again is a sample of how to reference a book, especially using the APA 7th edition style. Then the journals. Journal is a type of scholarly publication that is published regularly, typically on monthly, quarterly, or annually basis. It typically consists of articles written by us experts in a particular field of study, such as science, medicine, or social sciences. So when writing a reference for journals, it is important to include the following: authors, title of the article, title of the journal, and publication information. Below there is an example of how you reference your journal using the APA 7th edition. Then reference writing using electronic systems. Reference writing using electronic systems refers to the use of electronic tools such as databases or citation generators to help with the process of writing and formatting citations. These tools can make it easier and faster to create accurate and properly formatted citations, and can also help ensure that citations are consistent and accurate across different documents. So these are some of the popular examples of electronic systems for reference writing.